Hey everyone, this is Aaron of the Amigos. We have our, let's say, Asian VGA converter. This will convert CGA, EGA, and VGA, and YUV, excuse me, to VGA. Normally I would use this for arcade machines. You can see right here, this has an arcade style input on it, but we're going to use it to hook Boat's Amiga up to a monitor, VGA monitor. We've got a, it came with us a connector here, and what we're going to do is, and there are probably easier ways to do it, but we're going to do it this way, is we're going to use these cables to splice into, I'm going to basically take some cables off of this monitor cable. This goes from the Amiga, right here. Converts to this, but we're just going to take the wires off of it. I'm going to splice them into this little wiring harness. Then the output of this will go to a VGA monitor, and then theoretically we're going to get some action. It should be interesting any way it goes. This little harness right here is an input. This came with the item. You can see these wires here are red, green, blue, right? Then you've got a horizontal, that's what these are, red, green, and blue inputs. You've got a horizontal and a vertical sync here. We're only going to use one of these. And then you've got your ground. It's that simple. So what should happen is, our Amiga's hooked up here. We'll pull this end off. We're going to wire this up to this. So basically what we'll be doing is running the Amiga directly to this board. We've got a power adapter here. We're going to hook the VGA monitor here, and if everything works like it should, we should get some action on the VGA monitor. If it doesn't work like it should, it won't work.
It's not hot, is it? I might have forgotten to turn on the soldering iron.
These are color coded. These wires are color coded, but they don't match up with the pinouts I'm looking at, so it gives me one in here. So let's have a look. This goes into the Amiga thusly, and the pins we're looking for. You get a piece of paper and a pen I can use. Actually, I should write one note. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay. So we're just gonna double check here and make sure that we're not making any wiring mistakes, because once you get down that rabbit hole, you can really get yourself in trouble. So we know that we need 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5. The colors here are pink. This is where you get in trouble. No one color codes their wire properly anymore. If you've got an RGB line, anyone with a brain would know, hey, let's make the colors for the lines, the colors what they are. Nah, not to do that. So they just made them pink, orange, and yellow.
Now, are they right on the other side, or are they the same?
No, that's why I was confused. I was like, better have a look at these. It doesn't matter, that's why I took it apart, just to make sure. Connector. I mean, we're doing a ghetto job. We don't have to be ultra mega super. Alright, we'll save that for later. Okay, so we just removed this little VGA clip off here, and we've got all this wiring exposed. I've got down what goes where, the colors, and so at this point we're just going to solder the appropriate wiring to these doodads, and then we'll fire the sucker up. So we know black goes to ground, so well, they give us very little wiring to work with here. We'll try to make it work. Let's see here. I think we'll try to wire wrap these inside. Greetings, true believers. It's me, Aaron, co-host of the Amigos, along with Boat. Tonight we're going to answer the age-old question: can we get video from this junky, old, destroyed Amiga 500 on the cheap?
So why don't you walk us through all the parts that are involved in this?
Absolutely. Let's start with power. As you know, we had no power supply for the Amiga. And due to our cheapery and the lack of availability, we had to go to our friends in Poland. Our friends in Poland provided us with a interface that hooks from this old, incredibly old AT power supply to the Amiga 500. Here it is. I'm going to zoom in on that both.
Yep, I got it.
This was a good deal, and I endorsed the fellow making these. This is, I mean, it was a real cheap deal, and this is a good thing because the Amiga power supplies are getting up there in age, and while they can be often repaired, why not use an AT if you've got one sitting around? These things are plentiful. There are plenty of these in America. They make an ATX version of this as well, just as good. We went with this one because it's got an on-off switch because I had some. So that's step one. Obviously, we should introduce the Amiga 500. This is a spare Amiga 500 that I inherited from my good friend Larry. Larry's a great guy. Same guy that gave me the 1200. And I'm good friends with his son Jason. I've known him for years. I'm good friends with Larry and his wife Judy. We love them all. And this was like given to me, and we really appreciate that. This is a Supra, Data Flyer Express. This won't be part of the puzzle tonight. That's the next piece of the puzzle. But this will be something we're going to use for expansion. We had no video output. For those that have been hanging around with us, you'll realize that we tried to use an A520 that I bought on the cheap on eBay. Well, it wasn't that cheap actually, and it didn't work. So that was a real bummer, but hey, it's eBay. So what we've done is we've picked up this nutty, super whamadine Asian, basically it's an arcade interface for all intents and purposes to run an arcade board, a PCB, JAMA board, what have you, to a VGA monitor or a component output. Normally in use in an arcade machine, these connectors right here would be where you would run it off the arcade board, and these are normally, this is the same connector that's on a monitor, frankly, and then your outputs would be here. What we've done is use this interface here to wire this up to an old Amiga monitor cable that I spliced out. You can see the beautiful job I did there. And we've run this to from the Amiga video output. Again, it runs from the output through the cable to the splice into this connector. This signal is converted to VGA. This is a VGA cable running to this old, incredibly old monitor. With any luck, we will power this up, and you probably won't see anything at first. I've been told that once you fire this up, you'll see some Chinese stuff on the screen. You have to hit one of the function buttons here to get it to float to the appropriate input. And then we should see crisp, well, pretty crisp, clean Amiga Joy on the screen coming out of this thing. Now, of course, it's not going to be VGA in terms of resolution because it's coming out of this port, but it will be pretty darn good. It should be better than it would be with the 520, that's for sure. So, Vote, if you're mentally prepared, we'll fire it up.
I'm mentally prepared.
Okay. So, step one, let's turn this monitor on. And Vote turns on where?
It's right there on the side there. Yep, you got it. It's on.
It's on. And now, we should actually, you can see right here we've got no signal. We should be able to float through here and see, yeah, here we are. And you can see here's your beautiful Cantonese, I believe, Vote, when you say with it?
Yeah.
That's Cantonese. And then what we'll do is we'll give it a shot. So fingers crossed, we will turn on our power supply here. As soon as I can locate the on switch, there it is. Amiga's hot. And hold on. Is there a disc in there?
Yeah. Something's loading.
Something's happening.
Oh!
Success!
Woo!
Success! Holy smokes, I feel like I just won the lottery. Vote, take a look at that screen there. What do you think?
That looks great.
Now we've got the ability to adjust the screen position, right? If we desire. That looks pretty good. I'm interested to see how this will work with PAL For you folks over in Europe, you probably realize that a lot of the things we get here in PAL, we get hosed because we can't actually see the bottom of the screen. Sometimes they flat out don't work. I'm hoping with this being fully adjustable that we can just shoot that stuff up the screen. I don't know if that's the way it works, to be completely honest with you, but this is great, and it's been a long journey. Bo, how long have we been working on this now?
Since we started the podcast, so that was 6 months.
It's been forever, and so I guess now that we've gotten past this, we'll have to tackle this Express, or possibly we've talked about the possibility of putting one of these flash floppy emulators on here, so Bo can have a little easier access to the software. But this is a great sign, and we will keep you abreast of further developments. But hey, it works. Goodbye, everybody.